The reception to my 2 hot takes video and any hot takes related post that I make has been absolutely insane. So today we're here with hot takes of 21 Pilots part 3. Let's just get into this one. First off, from Radioactive Nerd, we got 2 hot takes. First one, Regional at Best is their best album. I love all their albums dearly and listen to them religiously. But compared to everything else, Regional at Best has no misses and has some of the most beautiful, underrated songs. So if you've seen any of my videos or my lists, I always have Regional at Best on the bottom of my albums, and I have songs from Regional at Best pretty low on my tier lists. And that's mainly due to the sound of the songs. A lot of them are demos and just don't have that 21 Pilots stellar production that I'm used to. While there's maybe 4 or 5 songs that I think are not written very well, if they were to release an updated version of Regional at Best today, I think it would be on par with some of their best stuff. So while I don't really think that Regional at Best can be considered a good album based on its production and some of the writing, it's very nostalgic to me, and I understand why you would have it as your favorite, even if I disagree with that. Second hot take is that No Fun Intended has better writing by far than any other album, including Trench. I'm a Christian, so that may have to do with the album being a lot more religious than the others, but the writing is just perfect. I agree with this one. I think Trench is like the most well-written out of the more modern day ones, and it's probably in the top 3 most well-written 21 Pilots albums, but Self-Titled and Vessel just have insane metaphors, and the poetry on them, it draws out so emotion, has so many underlying themes that, now I love the songs we get. I love the lyrics, but a lot of them have been very straightforward, especially on Clancy and Breach so far. So I understand when you say that No Fun Intended has a lot of good lyrics, because it does. It was written at a time where Tyler was essentially a poet. Thank you for your hot takes, Radioactive Nerd. Next hot take is from OG SKR Studios commenter Just Kippy5959, and she says, my hot take is that Scaled and Icy is actual genius level of a concept album. My heart hurts so much knowing that Psy was considered a flop and Tyler regrets doing it, because I can appreciate the amount of work that went into that. I can feel Tyler's disappointment, and it just sucks. The whole Dima propaganda of it all was literally so smart and innovative. It's not my favorite album, but I appreciate the hell out of the work that was put into it, and I'm sad I missed out on that era being a newer clicky. I wish I could have seen the live stream. Okay, I am a Scaled and Icy defender through and through. Scaled and Icy currently, before Breach, is my 3rd favorite 21 Pilots album after Trench and Clancy. And while some songs I'm not a huge fan of, like, Bounce Man, Formidable, Never Take It, I still find some appreciation in those songs, and I see what it's going for. Scaled and Icy is, of course, an album that was made to be poppier, lighter, and go back to earlier styles of songwriting and music production, because Tyler felt like it was too easy to make a dark album during COVID, which was a dark time. There's that point to it. There's always going to be that point to it. But the lore and the storytelling in Scaled and Icy, the whole way it's dressed up, the whole way it was told, is my favorite point of the lore. Point blank, you cannot get better than this. The fact that there is a story in this music about a man who's been trying to escape this city over and over, who can't, while these people who are in power are literally telling people to end their lives so that those people in power can control the bodies to get more people into the city, to have them take their lives more and more to get more power over and over again. And he failed. Clancy failed. And he has to work for that power, work for those people, and make propaganda music for them while writing little parts in the lyrics or putting little parts in the production that show you something's off. This whole era is amazing. This whole story, this is like the climax, in my opinion. This is the point of, oh my God, this story is amazing. It was amazing in Trench, and they put it at a whole nother level here. The fact that Tyler and Josh are on opposite sides, the fact that the Bishops take that East is Up logo and turn it on its side and make it look like a sigh for the logo for this era. The fact that Tyler has his hair dyed this era, because usually one of them does, and usually it's Josh, but it's opposite, so it's Tyler this time. The whole aesthetic of it being brighter, just to have more people come in, you know, and be in the city so bishops can control more of them. It's just amazing. And the amount of storytelling that went into this album, as well as how good the music can be when you get to the really amazing songs like Redecorate, like The Outside, like No Chances, Choker, Mulberry Street. Those are my 5 favorites from the album. It's just a whole different level. And I hate when people are just like, oh, that's like, you know, basic poppy 21 Pilots. They fell off, whatever. Because no, it was for a reason. It was for 2 different reasons. One in real life, one in the story. They correlate. Kibby, fire hot take. That shouldn't be a hot take. In the same vein, we have Mac and Cheese Boy Designs hot take, and he says, or she, but I assume it's a boy, because it's Mac and Cheese Boy. The online concerts, live stream, Roblox event, and cinema experience should be talked about more. This could just be bias, but I became a fan around when the Roblox event happened and went to the cinema experience, but I feel like those 2 don't get talked about enough. So true, Mac and Cheese Boy. I always thought that what they were doing in the Scale and Icy era was done for propaganda, like saying yes to the Roblox event, making a thing come out in cinemas, doing the live stream event. Of course, it's all because it ties into what they're doing with the story in this era. Even when they're like doing live shows, like the one that was in LA the day after the live stream, they promoted the album straight up after they played Shy Away. They were like, go buy our album Scaled and Icy. They never do that. It's because it's a propaganda album. But even without that, the live stream experience was amazing. It's still to this day one of my top 3 favorite 21 Pilots things ever. Everything sounds amazing in it. The set design is perfect. Seeing Tyler dance good is kind of crazy. The Roblox event, you know, it was cool. I mean, it's like whatever. I liked how The Outside was included, and I like how we got the Roblox loops in terms of songs, but it's still, you know, it's just a Roblox concert. But the cinema experience, having that live stream experience, and then a year later, having that live stream experience come out in theaters with amazing surround sound, listening to the songs, and then having BTS of the live stream spliced in was incredible. I'd still to this day, I need a DVD of this thing. I would love a vinyl of the live stream experience. Like they didn't do enough with that. Like they gotta push it more. I hope one day it comes out on DVD. I have an archived thing of the live stream that I still watch to this day, at least twice a year, because it just makes me so happy. I love it so much. Hearing the songs in that style were amazing. So yeah, Mac and Cheese Boy, honestly, I feel like the live stream experience had a lot of effort put into it. And honestly, if it was more accessible, I feel like people would like Scale and Icy more as a whole. But thank you for your hot take. Once again, should not be a hot take. Next hot take we got is from Taylay7573. Hot take, like a really hot take. I'm someone who likes and appreciates songs that even if they don't have great production value, they worked with what they had. So for that reason, Trees from No Fun Intended is better than Vessel. What are we doing here, man? I mean, like, it obviously sounds worse. Not just in terms of production, but his voice. And the auto-tune, bro, like, you can't get behind that and tell me that's good. You can't get behind that and tell me that you actually enjoy that. Like, even if you like more underground basement style songs, you could tell me you like something like Be Concerned, and I'd be like, all right, I don't like it. I don't like how he sings. I don't like the production. But at least it actually like was made in a somewhat like, okay, like this is a song type of way. Trees from Regional at Best, bro, what? Or from No Fun Intended, it's the same version. What are we doing? Like, the autotune is terrible. This is such a hot take. I don't even get this one. That's like saying you like the single version more than Jenna's version. Pigeoneer0 says, many people get upset when you say a song they like is bad because it's something that is personal to them and means a lot. not hating, just saying, for example, I personally think Level of Concern is insanely mid, but I'd understand if someone would get mad because it got them through quarantine. Anyways, some people get a little too defensive and need to just ignore it. I agree. As someone who is very vocal about my personal opinions on songs and how I don't really like Regional at Best and Blurryface as albums or the songs on them, I get a lot of people telling me I'm a fake fan. Delete your account. Why are you talking about the music if you just want to rank stuff? Why are you talking about the music if you think some of it's bad? Why are you a fan if you think some of it's bad? Well, there's these things called opinions. We're all allowed to have our opinions. And there's freedom of speech. We're all allowed to say how we feel about each song. I'm not going to Tyler Joseph's door and telling him, yo, bro, this song you made sucks ass. I'm just saying personally, it doesn't resonate with me. I don't like how it sounds. And that's about it. If you like something I don't like or dislike something I like, sure, I'm going to be a little bit like, what the heck? But I'm not going to be like, hey, I hate you. Delete yourself from existence. So I completely agree here. I don't know if that's a hot take, but I included it because you guys need to hear that. From Bandito's Top, we have Self-Titled is bad. The songs all sound unfinished and choppy except for Fall Away and Taxi Cab. The lyrics don't hit very deep, and the melodies are mid. Tyler's singing is kind of awful on Self-Titled too, if you haven't noticed. Okay, Self-Titled, in my opinion, is not anywhere near the bad levels of Blurryface and Regional at Best. Sure, there's some songs on here I'm not particularly fond of, like Johnny Boy, but I don't know, man. I feel like this is a very specific point in Tyler's life where he's more of a poet than a songwriter, than a singer. And just because he's not the best at singing doesn't mean he's bad the whole time. Trapdoor has some amazing singing. Fall Away has some amazing rapping. The lyrics are also some of the best written lyrics on any 21 Pilots album ever made, in my opinion, personally. I think that's just an objective fact. He has amazing metaphors here. There are like things I still don't even really know how to wrap my head around versus something like Clancy, which, you know, sounds amazing, but it's very straightforward. As much as I love that album, a lot of the lyrics are like surface level. You get it the first time you listen to it, like something like Navigating or At the Risk of Feeling Dumb. There's nothing really to pick apart there. Self-Titled, there's so much to pick apart, so much that you can take and apply different meanings to. Not that you can't with the newer stuff, but it's just written in a very different way. Even if it's less mature sonically and in its writing, it's almost a time capsule, a masterpiece, in my opinion, even if it's not even in my top 4 21 Pilots albums.
What's up, Benyon here, and I'm gonna go over one of the hot takes today. This hot take is from Key Speaker. Fall Away is the worst song on Self-Titled. The beat and the production is super basic. The only great vocal performance in it for me is really just the scream on Fall Apart, and it's also very structurally boring. Same chords the whole song and not even very emotional sounding compared to the songs on the record. And the I don't wanna fall away at the start sounds so goofy and satirical. Alright. I get it, you're rage baiting by taking one of the best self-titled songs and then saying it's the worst, but it's not gonna work on me. Nah, but for real, I do disagree with this take so much, which at the end of the day I guess is the point of a hot take, so good job Key Speaker, clap it up for yourself. First of all, you say Tyler's voice and vocal performance isn't great, and my response to that is, I agree. But like, that's kind of the case with a lot of self-titled songs. Tyler just wasn't the best vocalist back then, but honestly, in my opinion, Fall Away is one of the better vocal performances on the record. I get how it sounds goofy to you, but I think it sounds unique and conveys a lot of emotion in a very distinct way. And yes, there is an argument to be had that the structure of the chords and the beat is repetitive, but many songs are like that. But that doesn't mean they're bad. It's all about making the repetitiveness not feel repetitive. And I honestly feel Tyler does that by switching between singing and rapping and switching his flow up on the verses. And last but not least, you mentioned the production is basic. And of course it's basic. All of Self-Titled's production is basic, sometimes even being horrible and terribly mixed. We need a rework. Please, Tyler, give us a reboot. Fuck! Please, Tyler, give us a rework on the album. It will be so good. Anyways, that's just all my opinion though. Thanks for listening, and thanks for having me on, Randy. Peace.
From Egg Animations, my guy. He's got a few. First one, Vessel is overrated in the fan base. It's a good album, but to me, it's aged extremely poorly sonically. But I have my exceptions. Some stuff here, I kind of get it. Like, I love songs like Guns for Hands and Fake You Out, but you can't ignore, like, the synth in there. Even stuff like Ode to Sleep, it's not produced perfectly. It still has some of that regional at best flair, even though it's produced way better because it was made by an actual label. So I get it. I think I wouldn't call it overrated because of a lot of the lyrics here really hit home. And this is an album where it's, like, literally most of the songs here sound very happy, but the lyrics are so down. And that's a 21 Pilots kind of trademark. And I feel like this is where it sort of started. Second hot take is I don't like Oldie Station or Vignette as much as a lot of other people. Lyrically, they're great, but sonically, Oldie Station is painfully uninteresting, and the chorus in Vignette is kind of annoying. Oldie Station, I kind of get that. I think if it had different lyrics and the same sound, I wouldn't like it as much. I have it in my S tier. I absolutely love Oldie Station, everything it stands for. I really like how it sounds once the drums and the do kicks in at like the midpoint, like after the first chorus. But I still kind of understand what you're saying there. Vignette, though, I love that song so much. I love that chorus. I can't get behind this one. I don't know why you think it's annoying, because he's singing high. He sings high on Morph. He sings high on My Blood. He sings high on freaking Tally. Like, what do you expect? Third hot take, I don't like Tyler's singing voice in Self-Titled at all, except for Oh Misbeliever, but in other songs, it's tolerable, unlike the Pantaloon. Yeah, the Pantaloon has some pretty terrible vocals, and that's why I hated it for a long time. But honestly, I think it's just kind of mid. I don't think it's bad by any means. When Tyler's singing voice isn't great, it's just showing his, he's not as mature in his voice. He's not as confident in how well he can sing. And he's still putting so much passion in everything. Like if you listen to Trapdoor, even parts where he doesn't sing well, he's putting his all into it. So it's more forgiving than if something now came out and had bad singing, because it's like, I don't know. Yeah, at least he's putting passion into it. You know what I'm saying? Number 4, the line is whack, boring, and forgettable. Live version is miles better with that scream. No, I disagree. I love the line, but that scream is great. I love it. I don't think it makes the song any better. I don't think the line needs a scream. I don't think it fits at all. I will say that there's a version online. I forget who made it. I have a playlist called Check These Dudes Out. I think it's the first video. You can check it out. It's the line without drums. I think it sounds a lot better just because it draws more emotion. But the line is like Legend, but it's for his grandmother this time. And rather than being a celebration song like Legend, it is a sad, somber song about his grandmother passing. And it's emotional. It hits. I don't know why you wouldn't like it. Because it's boring? Okay, I guess you don't like piano ballads then. That's about it. That's all I got for these. But thank you, Egg, for your hot takes. Hot take from Gavolino9902. Routines in the Night is a stronger song than Navigating. Structurally and sonically, Navigating is overrated, and Vignette should have been the lore song and should have had a better video. Completely agree here. Ever since Vignette came out, I was like, what the heck, man? Like, this needs a lore music video. Why does this not have a lore music video about how the vignette is the black paint in a circle consuming Tyler more while he's being swallowed by the vignette? The blurry face paint is so perfect as an analogy of a vignette. I'm so surprised they just did a stupid little music video with a flashlight in the snow and had a joke at the end that made the whole thing like, I get a little annoyed by the Vignette music video. And then Navigating, like, you guys know how I feel about Navigating. I think the lyrics are very subpar. I think it's a lot of like, you need to listen to how this sounds more than how like the lyrics hit. Really all he's saying is that people leave and I'm anxious and I disassociate, but he doesn't expand on those themes at all whatsoever. At least in Routines in the Night, the verses are kind of diving into his psyche and what he does during the night and how he's feeling. Navigating is just kind of like, this is how I feel, but I'm not going to expand upon it. And yeah, I don't know. The Navigating music video pretty much is just, we're walking in the woods. Josh wasn't there, by the way. We're walking in the woods. Yeah, Josh wasn't there. Well, yeah, that'll matter later, I guess. It's like, yeah, like that's a cool drop in lore, but I don't know. Not my favorite or anything. From Top 21690, Vessel ending with Truce is perfect. I know a lot of people say that Truce wasn't a great ending to Vessel and it should have been Trees that ended it. I can see why people would think this. For one, Trees has the energy and lyricism that screams closer, but Truce feels like the more important ending to Trees, because in Trees, Tyler is clearly explaining that he's in the forest running from his soon-to-be death. He's trying to escape that darkness that is his death, and I feel like that's what Truce is trying to finish off of Trees. This time, Tyler knows and understands he has to die, but this time he's more graceful and focusing on the moment and bringing to light that death is an important aspect of life. Truce is such an amazing song and heartfelt in its own right, and which I feel deserves more love and attention. I completely agree. I wouldn't give Truce a complete 10 out of 10. It's like at 9.999 out of 10 for me, just because I wish honestly it was a little longer. It's not boring whatsoever by any means. It's 2 minutes of perfection, wrapping up all the themes of Vessel in one short song, and I think that's perfect. I completely agree that Trees is not a great ending for Vessel. I think it's a great ending for live shows to end them on a huge note with a lot of bombastic, like vibes, and just end it off on like explosions and stuff like that. But Truce, from Ode to Sleep to Trees, there is so much in there, and Truce somehow wraps it all up in a nice bow, saying he's not sure what's going to happen, if he's going to die, if he's going to live, if he's going to get better, if he's not, if he's going to let the depression consume him, if he's not. But all he can do for now, because he can't stop it, is he can make a truce. Make a truce that some days it might be good, some days it might be bad, but that's just kind of how life is. And it's perfect. So, great hot take. Completely agree here. From Maya SF141, we got A Car Torch of Death is the best song on Self-Titled. It is extremely well written. That is a lot of Self-Titled, but I feel like it's one of the best written even on that album. Has one of their best bass lines, in my opinion. The car alarm sounds are really creative and work pretty well. I completely agree. Like, I kind of get people being like, oh, this is annoying, where it goes like doot, 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 doot the whole time, but it's literally drawing atmosphere for the song, talking about A Car Torch of Death. And I never understood the people that hate this song. Even when I didn't listen to it a lot, I still liked it. There's a lot in here to chew on. I think it's better than stuff like Isle of Flightless Birds, which kind of just drags on for too long. And A Car Torch of Death, it's so well written. It's one of the best well written on Self-Titled, like you said. It's just immaculate. So yeah, my great hot take. From Pink Lemonade, we got Skeleton Icy is more lore heavy than Trench and is their most lore heavy album. The most happens in it. The most songs relate to the lore in some ways. Every song keeps the theme of false happiness thingy. Every song can show some kind of message to Clancy's situation, whereas in Trench, only most of them are more related, while the rest are more in real life centered. Not that that's a bad thing. It's a nice balance. I think that Trench has a lot of double entendres in it, and you can really take every song from Trench and apply it to the lore, even stuff like Smithereens and Legend. It works. Scale and Icy, I completely agree. Pretty much every song here can also be applied to lore, and like we were saying before, I think Scale and Icy, it does have the best lore. It's the most lore heavy out of all the albums. It does the most with the story. It does the most different with the story. So I completely agree here. There's not much else that I can say that I didn't say already, but doubling down on this, hell yeah, I completely agree. So yeah, thank you guys for your hot takes. I think this one might be the longest one out of all of them. I had a lot to say about your hot takes this time, and I think I agreed with most of them. So thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. And Breach is not that far away. We are a week away as I'm recording this. So which song are you claiming? Let me know. Leave your hot takes down below to be in another video. I think the next hot takes video I'm going to do is going to be Breach hot takes. So if you have a Breach hot take after it comes out, you want me to know, comment it on any of my videos, and I will probably put it in the next one. Maybe not if there's too many, but you get the gist. So thank you guys. Peace out.